Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Not My Shop. We're in Mandeville, Louisiana. I don't know how to pronounce this place. North of the lake from New Orleans, because I was just in New Orleans and I bought a new car. I don't know if you can see it. There it is. The sun's in my eyes. This is a 1999 C5 Chevy Corvette 6-speed manual. I've been after one of these for a while, and wouldn't you know it, the stars aligned, and now I have what is potentially the cheapest manual C5 in the country. This thing cost me $9,500, and it has just 56,000 miles on it. I don't know about y'all, but it seems like a deal. And I wanted to film in New Orleans, but I just could not wait to get out of New Orleans because the driver's there. Goodness, I will call out everyone who ever speaks ill on Wichita drivers because New Orleans drivers are something else. So here it is. It's a C5. Let's take a quick look around it, and then I need to hurry because my flight got delayed twice. I am running super late, and I need to get the heck out of Dodge, or whatever I said this place was called. So naturally, the C5, the classic American sports car, pretty low mileage, pretty good condition, especially by my standards. Now, I've actually known about this car for several years. A friend of mine, who is actually a friend of the channel, whose house we were going to, he bought this for $6,500 a while back, and we'll get into why it was that cheap. And then he fixed a bunch of stuff, which I'll let him talk about, and then he sold it, and when he sold it, he offered it to me and I just didn't have the money at the time. And then the person he sold it to here in New Orleans was selling it to buy a guitar, and I jumped in. That guy put some, what are these, 555 G2s on the front and rear, 320 treadwear. Those are pretty decent tires. He, you know, detailed the interior a little bit, looks pretty nice. Everything here is, on a whole, very tidy. I know one thing that my buddy did was he put a Z06 exhaust on because the oval tips are disgusting. And yeah, I've just been enjoying some top-down cruising, but now it's time to put some real miles on, so I'm going to put the top back on. Interior, very nice. Actually, I'm quite pleased. These seats, I already hate. Will definitely be, even with the wonderful lumbar support that I have there, and the shifter is also absolutely atrocious. The steering wheel sucks to look at, but it's actually very nice to hold, I will say. Of course, the door handles, these are from a 1995 Buick Riviera, and then they were put on this and the 2000 Buick LeSabre, because GM. And I'm trying to think of what other recycled parts are in here. Probably a lot. I'm pretty sure that shift knob is from a Cavalier. But everything as a whole, pretty good. Runs great. These get legendary fuel economy. Not a whole lot to talk about. It's a Corvette. All the interesting stuff we will get to later. And of course there's tons of storage and whatnot. So I'm going to pop the roof on, find the nearest energy drink, and start heading into Mississippi to get to my buddy's place. Hello, friend. I'm one of you now. Oh, and I think it goes without saying, black New Balances to match my black Corvette. You gotta, you know, I had to do it to him. Oh, the back goes in first. I'm an idiot. Ah, there we go. Click, click, click. Let's hit the road. Oh, I did just think of a couple of other minor issues. The AC leaks. This key thing here for the center console doesn't work, and it does the C5 thing where the gas gauge is pretty unworkable. So now I gotta figure out where on earth I'm going. Oh yeah, so no AC. It's definitely not broken. It's just an old GM car. C5 before. I've only driven a manual Z06 and an automatic Corvette C5, and then you know, some manner of Z06s and C7 or manner of C6s, C7, C7Z06. Never driven a Grand Sport either, nor have I driven a C8 yet. And I've only ever sat in a C4. This tint needs to go. That's simply tragic. Shock absorbers. It needs shocks. This thing rides like the Buick that those door handles are from. I'm sure I'll find more things to bitch and moan about, but these are all extremely minor details in the grand scheme of things. And it's $9,500! Come on now, you show this to anyone, they'll think it was 17 if the freaking AC worked. He did put a dye in it though, so diagnosing that should be easy. Like, I haven't really... I haven't done that yet. I was so anxious driving in New Orleans, seeing all these cars that look like they just drove by feel all around me, and the worst roads I'd ever experienced, that, oh, this shifter needs to go. Why is it so tall and big? Ugh. That's awful. Okay, my thoughts on the AC are, if I take all the knobs off, I can pull off the one functioning knob, use that to manipulate the controls. I'm a genius. I pulled the one good knob off and I used it to, there we go, lukewarm air. The luxuries never cease. Now, in Kansas right now, this isn't an issue, but it's in the 70s down here in Louisiana, which is beautiful, by the way. These seats are terrible. I mean, this one is apparently better than what was in it. Eric put a new seat in here, a new seat, because the old one had a torn bolster. But the whole left side of the foam is just crushed down, so I'm kind of sitting like this, which I'm sure is excellent on my spine. Time to put some miles on her. I'll catch up with you guys in Mississippi. 6th gear, 1400 RPM at 65. Does the cruise control work? Cruise set. Alright. Well, I'm just going to let the miles tick by and stop wearing out my camera battery. I'll see y'all in a couple hours. Drink acquired. My eyelids feel weird. Oh, this tint is just the worst. Okay. I kind of like this sort of on-ramp slip road configuration they have here, though. I like how every state seems to have a different thought on how highways should work. This one's okay. Very loud right through the shifter. It's almost like a sound symposium. is now the next day. I have, I think, 14 hours of driving to do today. Thanks to those flight delays, I'm not sure I'm gonna get it done. I might have to call in work tomorrow. I have noticed the fuel sending unit is doing C5 Corvette things, so I got some Tegron. So about 60 miles down the road, I'll stop, get some gas, put that in, then get some gas you want to put in, and so the gas mixes it up. Also got a cell phone mount. I seem to buy a cell phone mount on every single trip I go on. One of these days I'll just remember to pack one. And then we've got the diagnostic tablet. It's time to learn, probably more than I want to learn. So let's just see here. American Chevrolet. Yes. Is it gonna work? Is it gonna automatically scan it? Wow, it did. Look at that. 98 Chevy Corvette. Yes. Manual. None of that nonsense. I thought that, like, since it's a sports car, Chevy would tune the automatic so that it doesn't shift like a Buick Roadmaster, but I was wrong. When I drove an automatic one of these, it shifted exactly like a Buick Roadmaster. So let's smart scan. Smart, there we go. Away it goes. Uh-oh. Well, fortunately things did not get much worse. We've got 2 powertrain codes, 3 BCM codes, and 1 code for whatever SIR is. And there's an E30. Hi, Eric. Anyway, fuel level sensor performance, okay. And running lamp, relay, circuit, open. So apparently I've got a couple burnt out bulbs. Supplemental inflatable restraint lamp circuit failure. So that's why the airbag light is on, except the lamp circuit has not failed because the lamp is on. So, GM, please explain. Well, let's try clearing everything. And those codes for the lights might be old. I did notice the shattered remains of a bulb in the front turn signal housing, so that might have been replaced since it had that code and it just hasn't been cleared. That's probably going to come back, and I'm sure the fuel level sending unit error is going to come back, but hey, we can figure those out together at some point, maybe. Look at all the pollen. Oh my gosh. One thing I don't think I mentioned that, you know, won't show up on the scan is the passenger seat belt. It doesn't seat belt properly. There is something wrong with the ratchet there, but that is a super easy fix. It looks like it's just this one piece of plastic that comes off here, and then you have easy access to the whole mechanism. I could attempt fixing it, or I could just replace it. Though, I think US law mandates that seatbelts get replaced for free by the dealership, so I might just take it to the Chevy dealership and drink free coffee while they fix it. Also, I don't think you see this in modern seatbelts all that often. This Z-fold here, it's a very weakly stitched breakaway strip that kind of acts like a 2-stage airbag for your seatbelt. After the initial jerk slowing you down, it brakes and lets you come forward as the airbag deflates to try and lessen the amount of decelerating G-forces on your body. Neat concept. If you delete your airbags in your car for whatever reason, you want to pull these stitches out so that that doesn't exist anymore. Otherwise, well, it'll just let you fly forward and faceplant into the steering wheel. I mean, maybe that's what you want. I'm not here to judge. Well, that seemed like way too much driving, but unfortunately it was only 20% of my journey, and we made it here to somewhere in Mississippi to subscriber Eric's place. He and I have been friends for quite a while, just since he started messaging me on Instagram, because he has a lot of really nifty stuff. Some of which we'll make a video about while I'm here, but he was also the previous owner of the Corvette. He got it, well, I guess you tell the story, I don't remember. You got it in 18? 19. Yeah, so you got it in 20, and I was jealous at the time. Yeah, because you got it for $6,500. Oh yeah, I haven't even mentioned this yet. It is flood titled. That is why it was cheap. So,
that's right.
Yeah, so you actually got it from a local dealer here who specializes in cars that are okay but have title issues, and you got it for $6,500 with a number of things that you fixed.
Well, it had a lot of the typical C5 issues, some of those being the oil pressure switch sender, some of the driver seat issues, bolster separation. We had, you know, alternator pulley was bad. Numerous little things, instrument cluster issues with the driver information center buttons. Just a lot of little work to have to replace things. It's pretty much what we did. It took a bit, but sorted it out. It was great.
So a whole bunch of tinkering. Oh yeah, and you were just telling me it got the Z06 exhaust because someone had cut and welded and hacked up the factory exhaust, and honestly, that looks way better. The oval tips are goofy. I mean, I get that they match the tail light shape, but the oval tips were goofy.
It was. I understand at the time, late '90s, it was a design thing, but yeah, it was not good. It was not good.
And then you sold it to the gentleman in New Orleans that I bought it from, and he put on these Nitto. What are these? Brand new tires, Nitto NT 555 G2s. Lowered the back end just a little bit, and new front brakes, and then of course you did fluids and stuff on it as well while you had it. So car's pretty sorted out. Every successive owner just gets a little bit more fixed. As far as being let's see, it was flooded in the 19 Houston.
That's right. The floods from, and I can't remember the tropical storm name now, but there was floods, I believe, sometime in 2019 in Houston, where there were, you know, thousands and thousands of cars that were flooded. And what I was told, because I've been through the car, I've had the dash out, the seats out, there was no water intrusion. There's no corrosion on anything. Everything's fine. But what we tend to think happened, or what I was told too, was insurance companies will generally tend to, if it's in a flood area or there's an event has happened, if the car's just sat in water and water's not come in, insurance companies will tend to total them out or give them flood titles because of the humidity can cause potential electrical issues down the road. They don't want to mess with it. And that's the story. And I've been told it by multiple people. That's exactly what happens.
Okay, so there's a very good chance the water was up to here, but an insurance company will deem that totaled. And yeah, I mean, you can crawl all over this car. There's no evidence that any water ever touched anything metallic on the whole car. And it drives great. And it's been, what was that, 2019? So it's been 4 years. And the car drives great. So it's just discounted. It's not actually damaged.
Right.
Okay. Well, I've done 3 hours in it, and I have 14 left to go. Oh boy. Complete ultimate cleaning power. A little bit of that and a tank of premium, and we'll be good to go. And the B-roll machine broke, so we're just in Dallas now, and the car has been doing okay, though since there was no AC I had the windows down, and now the left side of my body is sunburnt, which is great. Also, Texas drivers are built different, and by that I mean they're built slowly. As soon as I crossed the border, suddenly I was just stuck behind people doing 5 under everywhere, all the time. It was infuriating. Anyway, here's a car. Alright, that's the car. We're done now. This is an E60 M5. I'm sure you're familiar, but the special part of this one is on the inside. It has the thing that makes it good. I mean, the engine also makes it good, but it has the thing that makes it not an absolute travesty like the SMG cars. Also, there's a few other things in here. SQ5, lightly wrecked Model 3. I don't know what that is. RS8? 7. Big boy. And something looks oddly familiar. An E92 M3. dual clutch. E36 M3, so very spicy. I love these. And this thing is done up. I mean, all these cars are done up just perfectly. That car has absolutely everything done to it, but we'll get to that in a minute. Wow, I like this muffler, Mike. It's octagonal. No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hexagonal. I can't count. Wow, that is clean. Does this have a limited? These have limited slips, right? Mm-hmm. I hate that limited slips are relegated only to M cars. Oh yeah.
Auto manual, so it has the 3.38 rear.
Oh, so yeah, it's got the lower diff ratio. I did the automatic 346 swap, 3.46
Oh yeah,
diff.
so you're really familiar.
Yeah, in my ZHP. Made a huge difference. First is pretty much useless, but second is fantastic now. Because I did all of that just for mountain switchbacks. Because before I would be in second gear and I would be idling coming out of them and it sucked. This is Mike, he's a friend. Manual lead jerks and whatnot. Oh yeah, and then the race car. Currently disassembled.
Yeah.
Were you able to use any parts from mine?
Yeah, your door is actually the driver's side.
Hell yeah, my door. My ex wrecked.
Actually, you should look at the wall over here if you want to see more.
Oh, and those are my seats.
They are your seats.
They look worse than I remember. Yeah.
The section that I thought you would like.
Oh, is there? Oh yeah, the wall. Oh, those are from my car.
Yeah. The hood isn't, but everything else is.
Oh. And the driver door isn't, because the driver door is on there right now.
Correct.
So that's your driver door, my passenger door, and my trunk lid. What a bastard of a color that is. It is impossible to match. You just can't do it.
You can see it even on the wall, it's not the same color.
Yeah,
the
no.
hood to the door, it's like a completely different shade.
Yeah, that was a fight that I had the whole time I had that car, was the front bumper cover never matched the hood.
It still does.
And they just can't. It's not possible. So yes, manual V10 super sedan, made by BMW. And this has, so what'd you say, H&R, lowering springs, and what else?
Muffler, delete, like axle back.
Yeah.
That's about it.
So no briefcase. And then full BAV sound speaker setup, CarPlay, CIC swap, and then
LCI lighting upgrade.
ooh, LCI lights.
Just looks nice.
Yeah, and cooled seats ready to go in. So, you know, the best car feature ever, because I am a sweaty bastard. What's different about the LCI lights? They look less.
The big orange reflector here.
Right. That's right.
Here and then.
They look less awful, but I can never remember what the difference is. I do remember, because like the E90 sedan is the same way. Like it's the same shape, but it lost all the orange, and it just looks so much better that way. Cool. Well, let's go see what this thing's all about. I drove an M2 competition early, or M2 CS earlier, and that's going to get its own video. So now it's time to see how the V10 do. Oh, what a pair these two are. As much as I'd like for us both to go tear up Dallas, I'm kind of tired of driving that thing, so I'm looking forward to something different and more comfortable with good seats. That is a chonky steering wheel. Wow, the steering is light. What's MDM?
M dynamic mode. So this one has DSC off, but you'll notice whenever you go through a sweeping turn, it will bolster whatever the opposite side is.
Oh, that's adorable.
It actually works.
Okay, it is M5 time in a city that I'm not familiar with, so I'm sure this won't be stressful in the slightest. Very different vibe in here from my E92. It's very, very comfy. I spent like 3 minutes with the seat controls and was like, yeah, that's a lot of adjustments. I don't know, I don't think I have enough time to find a setup that works for me. 1,000 miles. Yeah. Oh God, that bolster scared the crap out of me. That's spooky. What does it cost to find one of these with a manual these days? Like, what's the average, you know, typical selling price?
Average is about 25 to 30. If you're lucky, 18. I know of 2 people who got one for 18.
It still seems like a lot of car for 25. I mean, what are you going to get new that does this?
That's the conundrum that I run into. There's nothing that I could buy. I could get like a 2017 SS, but that's still not the same.
This bus is never going to see it coming.
Yeah, what do you know about the M is like, notice just if you're mid-pull, click M off and then click it back on. Wait any amount of time. Up to you, but you'll notice immediately.
Yeah, okay, so M is off now. I just felt the throttle go away. Oh God.
It's like,
yeah.
It's like clicking nitrous.
I wonder what it's actually doing in the engine. Time to do what this car is good at. Cruising on the highway. And 6th gear. So is the red line 8? 8,400 RPM. I wasn't getting anywhere close to that, was I?
No. Here we can tell that Jake isn't actually a BMW owner because of that. Just
because I'm using my turn signals. Well, it's got... There's not enough room. There's some sort of scientific thing about primary and secondary waves, and like it's a natural fourth or something for why V10 sounds so good. My monkey brain doesn't understand it, but it's really actually quite fascinating if anyone cares to go search for that. I prefer to just sit here and listen to it. Ride's nice. This is the suspension's in sport right now too, right? Oh, this is, what, comfort? That explains why it's comfortable. Yeah, how much of a difference does it make?
It's more than one.
Okay. Oh yeah, that is bouncier. Oh, wow. Wow. So that's, so then if I push it again, it goes all the way off. Huh. Wow.
They did it the dumb way. It's not like the magnetic shocks that I forget what they're called.
Yeah, it's not Magna Ride or anything.
What they do is they put a little motor on top of each coilover that just spins the knob.
Yeah, because I felt it take a minute to do it, so I was like, yeah, that can't be magnetic.
Which is a lot like, I mean, the funny thing is that design is what Tane did with their EDFC.
Yeah. I really wanted a set of those. God, the brakes are good. Dallas things. Oh, it's just, that's such an exotic sound from a 4-door family sedan. And it's not even like, okay, that's a complete back box delete, which it seems there's a trend amongst BMWs where just chopping off the rear muffler always ends up being like the best sounding option that is still reasonable. Because, like, that's not loud. That's not... I'm not having to talk over it or anything.
There really is nothing else, though. It's like, even in BMW's range, this was the... Or actually, the E92 was the last actual motorsport-derived engine. And the rest were just S monikers pushed onto the N-series engines.
Yeah. If you can give up the manual, there's that V10 Audi S8, I think it was.
S6 also.
Really?
They put in the S6.
Wow. I bet that's spicy. But, you know, automatic. So if manual is your sticking point, yeah, this is really the only name in the game. If this is the thing that you want, this is the car that you've got to get. Base 325i, bro.
I'm surprised you did that.
Right in front of Dallas police, just going to cut me off, bro. We look like mobsters. Because I don't know if you've noticed, but in like, I don't remember what action movies I was watching. I think it was one of the Fast and Furious films. The bad guys are still all driving E39s and E60s. Just all black BMWs. I love this interchange. It's so ridiculous. What if just 8 levels of cars?
And that one that we're going under right now is the worst because it merges on the overpass and then it comes into another merge at the end, and then there's another one 200 feet from that. We've always backed up no matter what time of day.
I still hate these turn signals. Like, my E90 has them as well, but this whole turn signal stock arrangement, I was talking about this in the M2, because the M2 has E46 style turn signal stocks, and they feel phenomenal. But these things, the number of times that I've gone to, you know, like, I'll get to a speed zone, and I have to turn down my cruise control, and I end up flashing my brights, because they're two identical stocks right next to each other. I wish this crossover wasn't in front of us. Crossover drivers don't deserve to merge.
I'm going to say something stronger than that.
Crossover drivers don't... God damn it, it's so weird. Crossover drivers don't deserve breathable air. Is that what you were expecting?
Yes.
I expected the bolster to be more gradual, like as you're feeding it
It's like
angle, it would do it more. But no, you turn and then it just goes... Boop! Suddenly you're getting a hug, but only on one side. It's like an awkward side hug from your aunt that you don't really know all that well. Sorry, is that too specific? At the risk of ruining my audio, I gotta hear it. Sounded so good though. I can't show any of that on YouTube. Funny detail I just noticed about the key here. So in my car, you put the key in underneath the start-stop button. In this one, the key goes where a key goes. And then you push the start-stop button. How about that? Oh my gosh, and then the bolsters just unhanded me. Wild. Well, that was a brief look at one of the more special things to come out of BMW. Of course, there was also the M6 coupe version of this, which I absolutely adore the styling of. I'd love to have one of those someday, but those with a manual, I mean, they're a little more common than this.
You can get those for about
17 grand? That's not bad. And then drive to Wichita at 5 in the morning, because tomorrow's Monday and I have work. And there's a dog. charge them when the battery is at 30%, and I've pretty much been listening to it this entire trip. 2 hours left, and it seems to be pretty smooth sailing, except I have a new intermittent issue. When I start the car up, every other time I have started the car up the last 5 times, the ABS and traction light. And if you know C5s, you know what that means. And for those of you who don't know what that means, it probably means that the ABS module is going bad. And on the pre-2001 cars, that's a problem, because these older cars have this potted ABS module that is, as far as I know, unrepairable. There might be a service now that does it, but there didn't used to be. So I'll have to look into that when I get home, to look at rebuilding services, and, you know, confirm that that's what's going on. The other option is to upgrade it to the later C5 ABS module, which requires a new steering angle sensor, repinning 2 plugs, and then running all new hard lines for the front brakes. So, not insurmountable, but not fun. Onward to Wichita. I am exhausted. Oh, I haven't mentioned it. It's 8:48 on Monday morning. I woke up at 5 and left Dallas because I have work today. I have my day job. There we are, back at my house. It's 11 a.m. I'm gonna go take a shower because I smell absolutely rank, and I'm going to try to unfold my spine and then go to work. Probably won't see much of this car in the next month or two. I've got a lot of other projects to get to before I start working on this, so it's gonna go into hibernation most likely. But yeah, let me know what you want to see with this. This is kind of a personal car. I'm not really looking forward to like working on a whole bunch of modding it, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see what comes up. There's a couple things to fix, so at least there'll be a couple videos coming from this thing, but yeah, mostly I just kind of want to own a C5. Wanted one for a while. After 1,000 miles, I can't say I'm disappointed. Thanks for watching.